We've been named best pizza shop in Australia this year, 15 in Asia Pacific and 28 in the world. I would never thought in my wildest dream to achieve this.
That's impressive. That's really impressive.
But to go to Napoli, where the pizza was born, and come back as a 28 in the world, I still feel surreal. Cheese and seafood.
Okay.
It's not my preference. As I normally say to customers, is against my religion. But if you do wanna, if that's what you like, I'll bring it there. I turn around, I don't wanna see it. I do love it. I love what I do. And what they say is if you like what you do, you never work a day in your life. So I feel like I'm on holiday for a long time, but I'm on 24/7.
Welcome to Dining Room Stories with Domar and Andrea, where we take you behind the scenes of the restaurant business world with stories and conversation that inspire.
Today on Dining Room Stories, we're joined by a man whose journey perfectly captures what is this podcast all about. Passion, courage, and the power of food to connect people and telling beautiful stories. Owner of Shop 225 and Il Caminetto, welcome today, Lorenzo Tron.
Grazie Andrea, grazie Omar. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Welcome, Lorenzo, to Dining Room Stories. It's a real pleasure for us to have you here.
Pleasure is all mine.
Lorenzo, you come from the historic city of Trieste in Italy. Tell us about that.
Yes, I spent the first 24 years of my life in Trieste. It's a beautiful, stunning city. One of the most beautiful cities I ever seen. The problem is that there is only 280,000 inhabitants, and it was a little bit small for me. I needed a little bit of an outlet, something a bit bigger.
My city is 15,000, so...
I understand. So one day, my dad is the 10th of 10 brother and sister, and I had an uncle that moved to Australia in the 60s, and he was keep telling me about Australia. Finished my university, I thought I wanted to learn English to get an advantage on any career you would try to go down the path. And I just decided to come to Australia because it was the furthest place away. So at the first difficulties, you can't just say, oh, I'll go back home and see how we go.
I can relate to this story. You know, I wanted to go far away from Italy as well. So I understand what you mean.
And then you're always thinking, I don't go to Greece, I can go next year. And then you move to Australia, you don't go back and Greece is gone. No, you can't go next year.
And at what age did you move to Australia?
I was 24. I did my 25th in Perth.
Wow. And when you arrived, how was Australia? What did you find?
I found a very different world from where I came from, but for what Australia is today. The food scene was very different. I remember at the time I was struggling to find some real Italian, some good pizza, or for what it matters, even in Perth, some restaurant open after 6 p.m. But now it's a very, very different story. We excel in Melbourne, especially for the food scene and the coffee scene.
Yeah, so I lived in Sydney 1 year when I came here, and I was surprised, coming from Milan, because I'm from Milano, Brianza, and everything was shutting down really early. Then I came to Melbourne, like, okay, Melbourne's better. Then, COVID changed a few things. But in general, I love a lot this city. You've been traveling around Australia, right? And then you choose Melbourne at one point. What was the...
I landed in Australia. Then I moved to Perth because I had some friend there from Trieste by chance. So we went there. I did a caravan tour like every great backpackers. From Perth, we traveled all the way to Darwin, catch the train again to Uluru, flew back to Melbourne. At the time when we arrived back to Melbourne, a friend took me to a restaurant in Lygon Street, Tiamo, which that didn't change my life, I would say. And after a month, my best friend from Italy came to visit me, and we did the other coast by bus.
Beautiful. Tiamo is an historical venue in Melbourne. Actually, my uncle loves it. Every time we go to Carlton, he wants to go to Tiamo. And have you met Theresa at Tiamo, right?
My wife, Theresa, yes. She was the manager of Tiamo at the time. My in-laws own Tiamo with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. And I went there for dinner. There were not many backpackers at the time when I first arrived. So I was looking for a job. They were looking for somebody. I started working at Tiamo the week after. My wife was teaching me the rope. And that day I said to her that I'm going to be her shadow. I wanted to learn everything from her, but my intent was a bit different. So after 2 shifts, we went on our first date. After
Nice.
8 months, we got married. And after 16 years, we're still happily together.
Oh, that's a really beautiful love story. Tiamo in Italian means I love you, right?
100%.
That's a beautiful story.
Very appropriate.
Lorenzo, you're also the owner of Shop 225. Tell us about that. Did you always wanted to open a pizza shop? Or?
I started at the age of 14. I started delivering pizza, and then I went on the floor. I learned my rope there in a Napoletano restaurant in Trieste. And during all my studies and everything, I was always involved in restaurant. When I first arrived to Australia, I finished my degree in marketing and advertising, and I had no intention to work in restaurant. But as an immigrant, there was no option, so I went back into it. I work at Tiamo, where I found my wife, and I started as a career as a sales rep. I moved around a few different Italian companies, selling anything from coffee to pasta and prosciutto. And at the end, with my business partner, Roberto, we were friends, and we thought, there is nothing in the area where we live to find something good to eat. Why don't we do it? So we found a place, it felt like the right fit. We took over the place and thinking, if it doesn't go well, we go for dinner with our family, at least we can get some good food. After 2 years, we had to quit a full-time job and go there and put everything that we got into Shop 225. And at that stage, Shop 225 was growing. We did a good job for the first couple of years, and we opened a Caminetto after 2 years from there.
In Muniponds.
In Muniponds, yeah. They're not very far away, but there is a very big difference in the market for us.
And Shop 225 was amongst one of the first restaurants to be certified from the Coeliac Association.
Yes. We always specialize in vegan since the moment we opened. We did find on the market there was a gap for celiac, and all our customers were like, oh, you do gluten-free, why don't you get an accreditation? So we have contacted Coeliac Australia. It was never done before. A pizza shop was never getting an accreditation for celiac before us. So we worked together with Coeliac Australia. We found a way to try to make it work. And so far, so good. Now it's been 7 years we've been accredited. And we serve something like 200 celiac a week. The most important thing for us is to make sure that when they come in, they can eat with a peace of mind, because there is nothing worse than go for dinner thinking, oh my God, am I going to be sick tomorrow? That is not something that anyone should experience. And that's why we put upon ourselves to make sure that they can eat with all the freedom in mind, and we take all the stress to make sure that it's gluten-free.
So we can say that Shop 225 has been the first certified celiac pizzeria in Australia.
100%.
So I love this. It's like pizza is one of my favorite dishes, of course. And so what's the difference between like celiac pizza, normal pizza, flour, cooking? Tell us a bit more about that.
Just imagine on a pizza shop, we work with flour, so there is flour pretty much everywhere. Every time you touch a pizza, you go cross-contamination. Every time you open a pizza, the flour is getting the hair, and it takes about 24 hours to deposit. All the ingredients need to make sure that they're gluten-free and they are not cross-contaminated. It's not an easy task, but we found some way around it. And from our lab test, there is absolutely no gluten anywhere in our food. So we are 100% sure that when they come in, they can eat with a peace of mind.
Yeah, so that's the difference between allergic and people that are intolerant, right?
Well, you go into specific. I'm not a doctor. I don't think I should talk about that. But at the same time, a celiac is an illness. It's not something that people decide, I'm not going to eat gluten today because I feel better. Those people get actually sick. It's not like they die. They're not anaphylactic to gluten, although we had those kind of customers too. But at the same time, they spend a few days really painful, and I don't think nobody should experience that for going out for dinner.
Yeah, I wasn't going there like, I know you know the doctor in that sense. You're a pretty good marketer. I've been seeing all the marketing you're doing for the different shops is great. But yeah, because also my sister, she's been celiac for a while. And I think in Italy, there's big attention around that. Some shops have separate kitchens. Some are not 100%, like I would say gluten-free in that sense. But you are 100%.
We are 100% gluten-free for the gluten-free product, but at the same time, we serve gluten as well. In Italy, it's a bit different. They got a different regulation, and in Italy, they must have 2 ovens on a pizza shop to be able to serve celiac. In Australia, there are way around it. You don't need to have a double kitchen. You just need to make sure that when you prepare the gluten-free, you don't prepare the gluten product. We take care of that for all the different dietary requirements that we do. We don't only do gluten-free.
Hi guys, I hope you're enjoying the episode. Remember to subscribe to our channel to get updates and keep enjoying the rest of the episode.
We also do vegan, halal, dairy-free, no garlic, no onion, and so on. You name it, we make it.
Yeah, great.
Can I ask you a question? You know, I remember back in the days when I was younger, there weren't many people that had problems with gluten or celiac. Why do you think this has happened?
Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trained to answer those questions. But I can tell you that 1 of 8 in Australia, they are celiac. Most of them, they don't even know. The symptoms are sometimes very easy. So just after you eat pasta, maybe you feel tired, you want to sleep, or you bloating a little bit, your stomach get bigger. It could be on my idea that maybe is because the way they've been treating gluten so far. Maybe if all the time we don't have enough time to wait for the dough to grow, the baker doesn't have time to wait. So you make the dough today and straight away you make the bread or the pizza. Your body needs to work harder to get rid of the gluten content.
Do you think there's also a correlation between the chemicals that they put in our food?
Unfortunately, I believe there is a lot of chemical in our food. And back then, there was not that many, so it would be a little bit healthier, but it's just the time that we live in.
Yeah, so I think it's like everyone is like celiac in Italy in that sense. We have pasta and then we went for a nap and we sleep after food and then we feel a bit tired. No, I'm just joking.
La siesta.
La siesta, yeah. So you've been recently to Naples because your shop's been named 28th best pizza in the world. How was it being in Naples and Triestino?
It's
getting
still
the bed, one of the top 30
I still can't believe it, Andrea.
Yeah.
To be fair, we've been named best pizza shop in Australia this year, 15 Asia Pacific, and 28 in the world. I would never thought in my wildest dream to achieve this.
That's impressive. That's really impressive.
But to go to Napoli, where the pizza was born, and come back as a 28 in the world, I still feel surreal. I still cannot believe that it's happening, that it's me, that we did it. I'm very happy, but yes, it's incredible.
And it's number 1 in Australia, right?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So how does it work? It's like, so you were telling us that where were you the year before? Blah, like that.
Okay,
Great.
so the way the 50 Top Pizza Award works is they split the world in 5 macro regions. They go Asia Pacific, we're part of, Europe, North America, South America, and Italy. Italy is by itself because there is so many pizza shops, they have to get their own category.
I like it.
We start
Makes sense.
they start in the, let's say, qualification with Asia Pacific in March normally. It's all based on mystery eaters. We have no idea when they come, no idea what they eat. They just book a table like you guys would do it, pay the bill, leave. We have no idea who they are. Then you get an email and you're like, congratulations, you've been selected to come for the 50 Top Asia Pacific. And when you get to the award ceremony, I would say, they start from number 50 to number 1. You have no idea what number you are. Last year, it happened to us that we came 5th. And at one stage, I actually thought they forgot about us because they weren't calling my name. And I was like, oh my God, We're here, but we don't do anything. Well, then we came fifth, and the top 13 of each region qualify for what they call the World Cup or the Mondiale, which is held in Napoli on September, and that's the one that we just came back from.
Great. So you like soccer?
Of course.
Do you support Naples?
Historically, people from Trieste, for Nereo Rocco, Cesare Maldini, we all from AC, Milan.
Milano.
Udine and Trieste have a big rivalry.
Okay.
No, I got nothing against people from Udine. I love them all. My nonna was from Cervignano. I'm a little bit from Friuli as well. But yes, they got a big rivalry. I don't think anyone from Trieste would support Udine or vice versa.
Okay.
Although we're very happy to have somebody in Serie A, and they make very proud to be in the region.
Yeah, great. So going back to the prize, like that's of course like you're famous, #1 pizza in Australia. It's an important recognition. And also like there's some pressure, right? So how do you feel now that everyone knows that you're the best and they come to your shop?
There is a lot of pressure, Andrea. Everyone that comes in nowadays, they're judging us. I keep telling my staff, which I thank with all my heart, without my staff, without the engine of Shop 225, we'd not be able to be here. From the person that wash the dishes, because it's the hardest job in the restaurant, you guys are restaurateurs, you understand, without the dishwasher, no one can work. From the guys that make the pizza, the chef, the guy on the floor, they do also an incredible job, but I keep telling them, we don't know when they come in, everyone is judging us, we need to be on the top of our game every service.
Yeah. But that's a lot of pressure, right?
A lot of pressure. Plus, like a journalist in Italy called me a little bit of a maniac. I'm very attentive to details. So from the music that you're listening to the weight of the cutlery, the way the boxes are shown, or the water that we serve, there are some water that got more salt component and calcium. They can't really change the taste of the pizza after you drink the water. So we are attentive to the whole experience. We've been named Best Customer Service in Asia Pacific for 2025 for the whole region. And that is what makes us really proud.
You have a very entrepreneurial style of management. That's why we relate a lot. Do you think food is the most important part of a restaurant?
Food is definitely a great component. If you have an incredible food and a terrible service, people are not coming. If you have a terrible food and an incredible service, maybe they're coming back because you're friendly. It has to be a mix of both.
Did you read my book?
Not yet. I just given you a book today, but believe me, it's going to be on my list.
We've seen all the recognition and awards, but we are interested about the challenges of Shop 225.
The challenges are enormous. We went through COVID, and during COVID, as you guys know, we became a logistic company. I wasn't making pizza. I was trying to deliver the pizza. So we went from 3 drivers to organize and find ourselves going against some major business like Uber, DoorDash, because they're all doing delivery, but they're taking a massive chunk of money, more than our profit.
Do you use them now? Or?
I use Uber only because you can't afford to. It's a marketing tool. You cannot be without Uber. The problem is that the new generation, they just use it as a default to order, so they don't even consider in ordering from the restaurant itself. But hopefully one customer at a time, we can change that, because if you order through to the restaurant, you support your local, you guys are a bigger margin, you still get the food possibly even better. I saw Uber delivering in some terrible way or chucking the pizza on the floor. They just don't care. And the most annoying bit on that sense is people don't understand that when they start an interaction with Uber, they're not buying from us directly, they buy from Uber. Uber buy from us. So we cop the bad reviews sometimes because they can't deliver. I'm happy to cop a bad review if it's my fault. So instead use my drivers and then I cop the bad review, no trouble. But until Uber does it, they should cop the bad review.
And that's great because I mean, Australians, like they really support like local businesses and markets. So it's important to communicate that.
We got a beautiful community. From day one, we live in the area And for us, it's all about community. They support us, we support them. I support every charity event that they ask me for vouchers, all the school, all the hospital, everyone that ever asked me for vouchers, they always get a yes as an answer. It's our turn to give back.
Is it stressful to run restaurants?
Very much so. I think I aged 20 years in the last 5.
Do you enjoy it?
I do love it. I love what I do. And what they say is if you like what you do, you never work a day in your life. So I feel like I'm on holiday for a long time, but I'm on 24/7. My staff sometimes is very surprised when they text me at 2 o'clock in the morning telling me that there is a problem and they get a response every 5 minutes. Or at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm always there. Unfortunately, I'm going to have a bad hand one day because the phone is glued to my hand. I'm going to have to stop eventually.
I know. I got the same problem with like, yeah, when she goes with time, yeah. And no, it was great. Like actually, because I just follow the shop like 225 like this morning, and I received straight away like a message, and I was like, that's definitely a bot or an automation. It's like, but you actually say you got a team delivering real messages to people on Instagram.
Yes, we do. We jump into the social media marketing very early in the stage, possibly 9 years ago now. So we go more than one team at the moment. Before I used to do everything myself until my wife told me off because I was on the phone 24/7. So now we have a team that does the social media. We got a team in China for our Chinese social media. And then we got a team that sends you the message when you first like us, so we can start an interaction with you.
Yeah, I saw like the Caminetto has been translated in so many languages, right? Arabic, like Japanese. And I was like, that's definitely advanced. That's not, from my perspective, it's not massive traffic in that sense because most people search in English. But yeah, I think also the Chinese community, they might search in Chinese also. You got experience, right?
Yeah, we use a lot of marketing and PR for the Asian and Chinese community. It's very effective.
I'm very on into all the details of the business. So I read all the reviews and I check all the data, and I notice on our webpage that a lot of people were actually coming from Hong Kong, Japan, and they were looking at the shop and what we're doing and what we are. So that's why we decided to do a different language webpage. Shop 225 got about 4, Caminetto is a little bit more, but there are more to come, I guess.
Is more of a local restaurant or you get people from all over Melbourne?
It's a good question, Omar. I believe it was a local restaurant until we got under the spotlight. At the moment, we're having people from everywhere. Just the other night, I got people from Hong Kong. It is not unusual that we got people from Sydney, Canberra, Perth. When they come here and they want to try the best pizza in Australia, then they come in. But hopefully we don't scare the local away because we love them. They've been supporting us for years, and there's always going to be a table available for them.
So obviously you saw a big difference once you won Best Pizza in Australia.
Yes, we were not prepared for what had to come. We went from 0 to hero in about 2 days. So there was the first week was very challenging. I was still overseas, and my manager Giuliano did a great job. We found some new stuff. He has to train it on the go and try to make sure to keep it to standard. But thank God that we came back, and now he can get some help from me as well.
I remember we had the same conversation with Johnny Di Francesco when he won Best Pizza in Australia.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a good quality problem to have.
It's still a problem though. You don't wanna lose customer because you can't serve them properly. Yeah. For us at Shop 225, the concept is very easy. When you come in, you're part of the family. You're sitting down in my lunch room. You be treated as family. Yeah. Sometimes in a bad way, sometimes in a good way, but definitely family.
The same thing is like when we're talking with Johnny. Like, I love that he said that when he won like the best pizza in Italy, was probably 2014, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, we put a flag on Melbourne because like it's impossible that just one shop can make good food. So it means the whole scene, the whole city, it's great. There's like a lot of professionals.
It's great to see after 11 years, you have young restaurateurs that are still putting Melbourne on the map.
That's what I'm saying.
For pizza. So
I had to admit that I'm a big fan of Johnny. I admire his job, and we've been friends now for a good 15 years. he did an incredible job by putting Melbourne on the map. And it's thanks for him that everyone needs to raise up the level to try to compare to Johnny, I guess.
I think he deserves some recognition.
100%. He did a great job.
Did he give you any advices now?
Well, we're not in touch as much as I'd love to. I'm sure that he's a very busy man having 17 businesses and catering and TV. But I'm always happy to have a coffee with Johnny and listen from the master.
Everyone's doing catering those days, right?
Yes. We do catering classes. We actually just started a program. We did a collaboration with a school in Sydney because you can relate, Omar, that it's very hard to find staff in Australia and especially capable staff. So we started this program with this school and it's the first pizzaiolo recognized. It kind of a TAFE course, sort of. You're knocking down 2 modules from your chef course if you do the pizzaiolo course. That way we can create some new pizzaioli in loco.
I guess it's harder and harder to find qualified people.
Very, very hard, especially for a certain standard. Everyone can make pizza, I guess, but not at a certain standard or that fast. Or I hate make people waiting for pizza. I don't want people to wait 40 minutes for a pizza. For us, it's 20 minutes mark. Of course, if you come on a peak day, on a Saturday, on a public holiday, it might be a little bit more, but roughly we stay on the 20 minutes mark.
Do you invest in new machineries? Oh.
We always looking at different options, even not just machinery, but even for our delivery, you got a live truck, you get a text message when your food is ready if you order pickup. We try to stay attentive and try to get the best service we can.
You open 7 days a week?
Yeah, only 7 days.
Lunch and dinner?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we open at 12 and we do the whole way until 9:30 at night.
Yeah, pretty good. And also like when I went to De Michele when I was in Bologna for a conference, right? And they're like really teatrali, like I would say, they throw the pizza if it's not perfect. So but in front of customers, like, throw it. And that's the ruota di carro.
Michele, that's a ruota di carro.
Yeah, so because we're discussing about the different styles. So perfection on one side, and I mean, when you want to have consistency in the delivery is one thing, but then what kind of pizza do you actually make?
Well, we make what in Australia would be defined as a contemporary style. In Italy, it's almost a ruota di carro. It's for us, the dough is the most important thing. There are 3 elements in our pizza. You need to get it right to have a good product. And Il Caminetto and Shop 25, I guess, being both on the 50 top Australia, it's the only 4 in Melbourne and 2 we're running. Is a great achievement. If you got the pomodoro, the tomato sauce, the good mozzarella, and if you can make a great dough, then you have a winner. You can put anything else on top. There is no trouble. Of course, we try to use local product, high quality, but sometimes you can't source the local product as good as the Italian. So we use mozzarella from Napoli and the prosciutto from Italy because I don't feel like I'm coming from Trieste, which is not far from San Daniele where they make the prosciutto. I don't feel like the prosciutto in Australia got the same level yet. Maybe we're going to get there, but for now, I'm still using my Italian prosciutto.
But do you think you can get, for example, like as local products, there might be some cheese or some other ingredients that might be good in Australia? Or
we do research all the best product. First, we go locally, and there are a lot of very good products. Unfortunately, for the style of pizza and the oven, the temperature that we run in the oven at, the one that we found performing better is the one from Napoli.
How do you manage rising costs, especially importing something from Italy that is getting more and more expensive and still be competitive in price?
It make very tough. Sometimes you need to make tough decisions and you need to rise the prices, maybe $1 one here, one day, just to make do. There is no point running a business if you're losing. We pay all our stuff the right way, public holiday and everything. So my customer will be very understanding and they do appreciate the level of quality, so they don't mind paying the money. But I don't know how people would sell a pizza for $20, to be honest, because you pay for what you get. So just be careful when you're deciding to go that path.
today, would you go for a wood oven fired pizza or would you go electric or gas? What would be your preference?
Okay, I'm a traditionalist. I would do wood fire all way. But the new technology catch up with us. Now, electric oven, gas oven, or dual fuel oven, they do an incredible job. You can't even tell the difference. And you don't have the problem of the rush period. So on the wood fire, when it's a rush moment, you need to pump up the timber, the wood, and make sure that they got a high hot, is warmer the oven. With the electricity and gas, with the computers now, it does it by itself, and then you don't have the problem of having been too hot so to burn the pizza. Because guys, with the wood fire, it only take turning around, turning back, is burnt. So it's a very big art to cook with wood fire.
Yeah, that's great. So technology is definitely evolving quick. You think like robotics will play a role in the hospitality industry in the upcoming years?
I did saw some great robot making pizza. I don't know how I feel about that. I never thought about it.
No, just not the feeling, but just like I think I saw the other day like this full like it's like a square German machine that cooks pasta. It looks not great, but
I've seen a barista robot making coffees.
I like the arm, like the robotic arm is pretty cool. I mean, that's lower now, but still. I think, in my opinion, you go premium with humans in the future, but still, we already use robots, just like how advanced they are.
Yeah, I guess you got a point. So maybe you're in a train station and you want a quick pizza and there is a machine that makes it, why not? But if you want to sit down and have a good meal, I think the human component is still the best. Even just for something silly like taking order, a lot of people used to do it via QR, especially during COVID. I've always been against it. I like the human touch. I like to talk to people. I like to suggest what to eat based on their dietary requirement. I'm really personal person. I like to talk to them.
Yeah, it's hospitality, right? At the end of the day. So we discussed it before is like quality, food quality is important. At the same time, the human touch, the connection is important. I love when I go to restaurants, like, what's the most popular dish? What do you recommend? And if I got a good experience, I'm happy. I'll write a good review.
The menu is easy to read, but at the same time, who does know better than the person on the floor what can transform better in halal version or gluten-free version? The menu doesn't tell you that, and it's always the human touch that makes the difference.
You also go out to have an experience, otherwise you could stay home and cook for yourself or order some takeaway, but you still want to feel the connection with people.
Yeah, I like when they come in with chit-chatting about everything. I talk to my customer about absolutely everything.
We move in, so COVID has been like a breakthrough in, I would say, human experience. In my opinion, we're going back to the real human connection. And that's, of course, what we like. That's also why we're here. We try to build connections, real connections with people. The world is going like towards like different spaces. I travel a lot, so I like that. But I think that hospitality is one of those places, and restaurants are one of those places where you can experience family, connection, and community.
Yeah, restaurants are becoming entertainment spaces more than a place where you go and eat. They're becoming a place where you go think with people, experience things.
Yeah.
Obviously the world is evolving.
Please.
I think it's as easy as what you just said. It's when people would like to go for a meal, they can go to a fast food and eat quickly if they want to. If they come to a restaurant, they come in because they want a human touch. They want to talk to you, maybe just by asking how the day was or what they are planning for the weekend. People still like the human interaction.
And especially I talk to my staff when we have solo diners. And for me, it's a mistake when we don't talk to them. So I always encourage when you have a solo diner, talk to them, what's going on, because those people, they are craving connection. Maybe they're eating by themselves because, they have a work conference. But, it's still a mistake when you don't talk and you don't connect with those people.
Yeah. And I think I like Australia, like, people go out a lot or they order a lot. And sometimes they can get better food. But in Italy, it's always the same competition. It's like, you see the restaurant, it's like, oh, my mom can cook better than this. Like, my auntie cooks better than this. So
There is the problem with having Italian inside the restaurant because, let's be honest here, guys. Nobody can beat Nonna.
Yeah.
It's impossible. We just can't do better than Nonna. We do our best, but just be honest, we're never going to achieve that level.
Yeah, belle meatball on the spaghetti, yes or no?
For me, it's a no.
Okay.
We, to our staff, we say, and to the customers, we say we don't compete with mama's best dishes. So, if mama does a beautiful ragu and a customer says, my mom does a beautiful ragu, I want to order that. No, you don't order that, but I want it. You're not going to have that because for sure you're going to be not happy with it.
I have to agree with you.
Can't beat memories.
If Nonna
anyway.
does a great lasagna, get something else.
Is there a new shop 225 coming?
Not at the time being. We are considering maybe opening some other sort of concept. Il Caminetto and Shop 225 is taking a very big toll about time and energy for me. So at this stage, I don't think I can physically or mentally do another one.
So you are not bored yet, like all the entrepreneurs?
No, definitely not. I'm still very hands-on. You find me on the floor running like crazy a couple of nights a week, and I really enjoy that part of my job. I love to talk to people.
So you're happy to consolidate the businesses that you have right now?
For the time being.
And how do you feel like, so those people that gave you the prize, they were actually coming to the shop like without showing that they were, how do you feel like now? You look around and say, was the next one that's gonna judge me?
You always look at every single customer like they could be the judge, because I don't know what they look like. I don't know if they're Italian based, if they're based somewhere in Asia, in Australia. So I don't know what to expect. So I make sure that I touch every single table. But not just for that. I wanted to give them the touch, and it's not uncommon for me to leave a little bit earlier than the restaurant just to want to go home and kiss my son goodnight. What's the point to have a family if you have to work all day? And, I go to the table and I thank her for coming in, and I say, I'll see you next time. I'm sorry, I'm going to go. They love it.
After you won Best Pizza in Australia, is the customer perception changed towards you, or is your perception change of them? So they come and,
We always tend to coccolare, to try to get everything to our customers. It's not uncommon that if somebody asks me, I don't know, aglio e olio, and I don't have it on the menu, I get chef to do it. So we get all over the place to make sure that the customer are happy. I feel like we're getting more recognition now, and people really appreciate the hospitality that we do after the award. But it could be just a feeling.
But if they ask to put, I don't know, like tomato on the pizza, what would you say? Would you do it for the customer?
Are you talking about ketchup, Andrea?
Ketchup is that's what we call it, right?
All right. There is a limit, yeah? So I do not have like cheese on seafood.
Okay.
It's not my preference. As I normally say to customer, is against my religion. But if you do wanna, if that's what you like, I'll bring it there. I turn around. I don't wanna see it. As easy as that.
I just get a social media person to do a video, but I'm not gonna look at it, right? I love that. So Lorenzo, what keeps you motivated like every day after all these years, multiple activities? You're definitely an entrepreneur. So
I feel like there's a different challenge every day. When you go to the restaurant and something broke down and you had to fix it before service, or the phone stopped working 5 minutes before you start service. But for me, it's, as I said before, I don't feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm on a holiday. I like what I'm doing. I really enjoy being there. So for me, the motivation is I'm going out with some friend and have a great chat tonight. Let's see who I'm going to meet new.
I love that. So I can see passion, inspiration, community, and quality in your work. So that's pretty amazing.
You're very kind. Thank you, Andrea.
You're welcome. If you could speak to your younger self, what would you ask or tell him?
I'm not sure. I have no regrets. I always live my life with trying to get the best for the moment and without thinking back, I should have done it differently. I do not have regrets. I would have done all the experience the same way I did it, because at the end it took me where I am today, and I'm very happy where I am.
That's beautiful. And let's say, and to a young chef or someone that actually jumping into the hospitality industry today, do you have any advices for them?
Don't do it. It's a hard job, guys. Everyone thinking, open a cafe is going to be easy. It's not. Nothing is easy. They got a medium challenge from social media, thinking that it's not even related to food. And plus, don't forget that when everyone else going out for dinner and having fun and enjoy their Sunday off, we are working. I'm not saying that people don't have the passion to do it. If you're really passionate, by all means, but you need to be sure of what your choices are, because there are a lot of sacrifices that has to be done.
Thank you so much for being with us today. It's been such a pleasure. And
Thank you, Lorenzo. Grazie.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure.
mille. Hey guys, thanks for watching the episode. I'm gonna see you in the next one.
Welcome to Dining Room Stories with Domar and Andrea, where we take you behind the scenes of the restaurant business world with stories and conversation that inspire.